Bipsy offers flu shots to staff and students. The runoff election for Louisiana governor gets ugly.
An important debate for the 2020 Democratic nomination, and Jennifer Aniston breaks the ground.
All that plus Abby Colvin takes a look at your weather.
And James Farrar with the new sports update. The Bipsy News starts now.
From the studios at Bossier Parish Community College, this is Bipsy News.
Welcome back. It's Wednesday, October 16th for the Bipsy News. I'm Jilian Rogers.
And I'm Shaquille Jefferson. Jillian, why don't you tell us what's going on around campus?
Willis Knight and Work Care will be on site in Building A to provide flu shots to Bipsy student, employees, and retirees today from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and tomorrow from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Everyone must bring in an insurance card and ID. Without insurance, the cost is $35, and Medicaid is not accepted for the shot. Contact Christina Hughes at 318-678-6160 if you have any questions.
The Rotaract Club of Bipsy has partnered with the Food Bank of Northwest Louisiana to create an emergency food pantry to help serve Bipsy students who have food insecurities. The pantry will be open for the fall 2019 semester on Thursdays from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Fridays, and on Fridays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and is located in Building D, Room 113. The pantry is free to those who are eligible. Once eligibility is confirmed, each student can receive 10 pounds of food per week. For more information, contact Kelly McDade at 318-678-6324.
The Bossier Parish Community College Theater Program and the Cavalier Players' first production of the season, Urinetown, is still running through this coming Sunday, October 20th, with showings Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. and a final showing Sunday at 2 p.m. in the Stephen W. Slaughter Theater, Building C. Our very own James Farrar caught up with a few members of the cast and crew to see what the show is all about.
Urinetown is set in a world where there's been a drought going on for years, and so it is a crime for people to pee outside of designated locations, and to pee in those designated locations, there's a fee. And so it's just about this world where there's that drought and these weird system going on that people eventually decide to rise up against. And so it's a very good musical. I've studied it for years just because I enjoy the music so much.
It's a musical comedy, and so like there's funny parts, there's serious parts, and there's songs throughout all of it. There's good music. It's a really good cast. There's really talented actors here throwing their lives out on stage and everything. It's really good. Honestly, it's gonna be good. I feel like.
Just come and enjoy a night of good music. The set's absolutely gorgeous. The costumes are fantastic, and the singing always sounds really good. Thank you.
Reporting for the Bipsy News, this is James Farrar. Now let's get you back over to the news desk.
Coming up after the break, one town in Bienville Parish feels the strain and financial burden.
But first, Abby Colvin has your latest forecast.
This is Abby Colvin with Bipsy Weather. We'll be back after the break.
I can take a field trip around the world, even though I've never been on an airplane.
I can investigate the mysteries of the human body from the inside out.
I can see the world through the eyes of others.
I can experience what's happening today and understand what it means for tomorrow.
I can do experiments and learn to think like a scientist.
I can learn biology while I'm still learning English.
I can solve problems that I couldn't understand before.
I can dream.
I can engage.
I can build.
Touchdown. I can achieve.
I can learn.
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 I'm usually super relaxed at home, except when this happens, or this, or this. Lucky for me, my mom knows just the thing to help me get through these stressful times. Thanks to Mom and Nature Vet, I'm now able to make some of my most stressful moments quiet moments.
Remodeling a kitchen can be easier than many realize. For one thing, instead of going through the trouble and expense of installing new custom cabinets, give your current ones a coat of paint, new pulls and knobs, or perhaps new doors. For another, you needn't change every appliance. Get a new look by changing the most used one, the sink. Those from Blanco save space on the counter and make cleaning and prepping easy. Sil granite sinks are impervious to scratches, chips, and stains, while the company's newest stainless steel material, Duranox, resists fingerprints and scratches. Little things can make a big difference. Custom stainless grids and elegant drain covers and strainers can make prep work more pleasing, cleanup less complicated, and entertaining, an event reserved for graciously accepting compliments. Grids that float inside the sink to dry dishes, elevate pots or wash vegetables. Colanders and cutting boards that can sit on top of the sink or on a specially engineered ledge save counter space and pep up prep work. Learn more at BlancoAmerica.com.
I'm Abby Caldwell with Bitsy Weather. Let's take a look at the current temperatures. In Marshall it's 68, in Nacogdoches it's 69, in Texarkana and Ruston it's 68, in Minden it's 69, and in Natchitoches it's 73. Now let's head over to Bipsy. It's partly cloudy here with 68 degrees. The humidity is 52%. The dew point is 46 degrees, and the wind's coming in at north at 11 miles per hour, and the sun sets at 6:42 p.m. Now let's take a look at the 5-day forecast. On Thursday, it's partly cloudy with a 5% chance of rain with a high of 73 and a low of 51. Friday, there's a 5% chance of rain with a high of 78 and a low of 61. Saturday, it's partly cloudy with a 15% chance of rain with a high of 80 and a low of 64. Sunday, it's partly cloudy again with a 20% chance of rain with a high of 83 and a low of 66. And Monday, there's going to be a thunderstorm with a 50% chance of rain with a high of 72 and a low of 53. This was Abby Colvin. Let's take it back to the news desk.
Democratic presidential candidates took the stage in Westerville, Ohio last night in a critical debate that could reshape the race for the nomination. 12 Democratic candidates sharing one stage with one goal in mind: to make a lasting impression with millions of voters watching at home. And with time running out until the first voters are cast in February, some candidates came out swinging. Former Vice President Joe Biden called President Donald Trump the most corrupt president in history. Senator Elizabeth Warren was front and center after a surge in the polls has put her under the intense spotlight typically reserved for frontrunners, was attacked on health care and her tax plan by Pete Buttigieg, Beto O'Rourke, and Andrew Yang. And healthcare was once again a major topic, with candidates sparring over a Medicare for All plan, backed by the more progressive candidates or a more moderate approach.
In their first TV ads for the Louisiana governor's runoff election, Democratic Governor John Bel Edwards and his Republican opponent Eddie Rispone are trading attacks in 30-second spots that were released Tuesday. In the attack ads, Edwards claims Rispone will cut health care and education while returning the state to the days of former Governor Bobby Jindal, who ran up the deficit during his time in office. Also in the ads, Edwards talks about his work in attempt to stabilize state finances. Meanwhile, Rispone, who has two ads that will start airing today, is doubling down on efforts to himself to presidential Donald Trump. Using highlights from the presidential's anti-Edwards rally, Rispone, much like Trump, is a businessman who has pledged to cut taxes and run the government more efficiently, although he has not offered details on how he would do either. The runoff election is set for November 16th with early voting beginning November 2nd.
The town of Arcadia in Bentonville Parish is dealing with financial woes, and city employees are feeling the crunch. In order to deal with financial difficulties, the mayor of the town was forced to lay off 4 employees and move 3 other positions from full to part-time, in a move that shocked employees. One of the laid-off employees, former Community Development Director Philip Smart, said he knew the town had financial problems, but he wasn't aware that they were going to have to start laying off people, and he certainly wasn't expecting to be among those let go. The town's mayor, Alandis Milliken, is hoping that the sale of the Arcadia Outlet Mall will help, but added that the town isn't in debt.
Are all calories equal? Maybe not. When it comes to trying to lose weight, studies show the time of day you eat could have a big impact. Meredith Wood explains in today's Health Minute.
Anyone who's ever tried to lose weight has been bombarded by all kinds of messaging on the best way to do that. Cutting out this or that, reducing calories, you name it. One thing, though, that many nutritionists agree on: what time of day you consume your calories affects how fast and efficiently your body burns them. According to a 2015 study by Brigham and Women's Hospital, this has to do with the body's circadian rhythm. The physical, mental, and behavioral changes in the body during a 24-hour cycle affects diet-induced thermogenesis, or how our body burns calories. The result? The body is better at burning and digesting calories at 8 a.m. than it is at 8 p.m. So here are a few ways to put this into practice and see if it's right for you. Start by front-loading your calories. Always eat a filling breakfast. Move what you would normally eat for dinner to lunch, and your dinner, think about eating half of what you typically would. The goal is to be full throughout the day when our bodies burn the most calories, and not chowing down before bedtime when our bodies slow down. For today's Health Minute, I'm Meredith Wood.
When we come back, the police officer involved shooting in Fort Worth has citizens protesting.
Now, though, let's go over to James Farrar with a new sports update.
The American and National League's championship series were both in action yesterday, and before the night was over, one team saw their season come to an end, while another did something it had never done before. I'll have details after the break, so stay tuned.
You may have even more to smile about the next time you visit the dentist. That's because dental offices today can use digital technology that helps you get a more accurate, comfortable treatment in a fraction of the time taken by traditional techniques. Thanks to such things as cone beam tomography that gives the clinician a view of your mouth from multiple angles, and 3D imaging and printers that let your dentist build a restoration while you wait, you can look and feel better, faster. Seeing all the exciting new equipment, however, is not the only reason to visit your dentist. According to the American Dental Association, you should call for an appointment if you have tooth, jaw, or mouth pain, if your gums are puffy or bleeding, if your teeth aren't as white as you want, if you have diabetes, heart disease, or any other medical condition that affects teeth, if you're pregnant, if you have dry mouth, if you use tobacco, and if you haven't been to a dentist in 6 months or more. Visit henryshinedental.com to learn how the company is helping dentists enhance the patient experience.
You've seen how recent hurricanes have devastated whole communities, flooding and destroying homes. Join Habitat for Humanity as we work with families to repair and rebuild. You can help someone desperately in need of a place to call home. We will rebuild, but only with your help. Visit Habitat.org to support Habitat's work.
Head lice? It's likely your child will be exposed to lice at some point. Don't freak out. A range of pesticide-free treatment and daily prevention solutions is available. If your child gets lice, Vamoose Lice Treatment's easy-to-apply mousse takes care of both lice and eggs. Vamoose kills lice by gut rupture and dehydration. It even kills super lice, which are resistant to pesticides and common OTC treatments. Vamoose kills nits before they hatch, so unlike products requiring a repeat treatment for hatching eggs, Vamoose works in one application.
Welcome back. I'm James Farrar with today's Sports Update. October is a month synonymous with Major League Baseball, the way March is with college basketball, and yesterday provided one maligned fan base with a fall memory they aren't likely to soon forget. I'll start off, though, with two teams whose fans have had plenty to cheer about in recent years. As the winningest franchise in league history, the New York Yankees, played host to the 2017 World Champions, the Houston Astros, in Game 3 of the ALCS in the Bronx yesterday afternoon. Coming off a thrilling series-tying extra-inning walk-off win in Game 2 on a Carlos Correa 11th-inning bomb, the Astros were feeling good and had likely AL Cy Young Award winner Garrett Cole on the mound. Cole led the league in strikeouts this season and came in unbeaten in his last 25 starts dating back to late May. But he would admit after the game he didn't have his sharpest stuff in this one. Still, he managed to hold the Bronx Bombers scoreless over 7 innings and got home runs from former MVP Jose Altuve and Josh Reddick early as the Astros cruised to a 4-1 victory and a 2-1 series lead. Teams that win Game 3 in a series tied 2 apiece win the series 74% of the time. In the National League, teams that win Game 4 in a series that they lead 3-0 go on to win the series 100% of the time, though. And that's what the Washington Nationals looked to do in the nightcap at home as they went for the sweep against the National League Central Division champions, the St. Louis Cardinals. The Nationals have had record-setting performances from their starting pitchers over Games 1 through 3, and Patrick Corbin came out and started Game 4 the exact same way, striking out 10 batters in the first 4 innings, while his offense spotted him to a 7-0 lead in the very first inning. Corbin tired a little in the fifth, however, and allowed 4 runs, so it was up to the Washington bullpen to get them over the hump and into the franchise's first World Series appearance in club history. Despite being one of the weakest bullpens all season, last night the combination of Tanner Rainey, Sean Doolittle, and Daniel Hudson threw 4 shutout innings, allowing only 1 hit to close out the win and send the Nationals to the World Series. Earlier this month, I mentioned some of the heartbreaking ways the team's season has come to an end in the last decade, and with that in mind, it's only fitting that they exercise those playoff demons with 4 emphatic wins and close out the pennant at home, the site of all those earlier horrors. Howie Kendrick took home NLCS MVP. That's going to be it for today's Sports Update. I'm James Farrar, and now let's go back over to the news desk.
People are protesting the shooting death of Atiana Jefferson in Fort Worth, Texas. Former officer Aaron Dean is charged with murder. He resigned from the police department just before his arrest on the murder charge Monday, but was released on a $200,000 bond. He's accused of shooting Jefferson through a window in her home after a neighbor called to report that a door at Jefferson's home was open. About a dozen protesters marched from the old Tarrant County Courthouse to Fort Worth City Hall on Tuesday. Many marchers said they objected to the fact that Dean was able to bail out of jail.
Wells Fargo is taking another hit because of its infamous retail sales taxes. Tuesday, the bank announced it saw a 23% drop in its third quarter profits because of the scandal. The drop is driven by the $1.6 billion as the bank had to pay in legal costs. Wells Fargo did not explain what was behind the legal charge. It would only say that it is connected to the scandal. You may remember back in 2016, Wells Fargo was charged with creating millions of unauthorized bank and credit card accounts without their customers' knowledge. The Federal Reserve put in place an unprecedented punishment for wide consumer abuses. It imposes an asset cap on Wells Fargo, limiting the amount of loans the bank can make.
4 teens are okay after a hit-and-run driver slams into them in a driveway, and a very, very big dog gives up on a hike and is carried down a mountain. Coming up in today's Take a Look at This.
4 Massachusetts teens are okay after getting slammed into by a hit-and-run driver. The kids, ages 12 and 13, were standing in a driveway when it happened.
It was like a lot of impact all in one. And then I just remember seeing the headlights and then trying to get away.
The teens say the driver beeped the horn as the vehicle pulled away. The kids were treated for minor injuries, and police are now searching for the driver.
I don't know how you can hit a parked car, 2 bicycles, and 4 children and just drive away. That, to me, is unfathomable.
Rescuers in Utah had to retrieve a huge dog that had had enough of a mountain hike. The 190-pound Mastiff, named Floyd, was on a Salt Lake City trail with his owner. About 2 miles up, Floyd got exhausted, laid down, and refused to move. That's when several hikers called police for help. Rescuers responded, and Floyd was carried back down the trail on a stretcher. The rescue team's Facebook post said Floyd was a good boy and was happy to be assisted. The big guy is reportedly resting at home and getting lots of TLC. You think Floyd is big? That's nothing. Check out this freak pumpkin that squashed the competition at a California pumpkin weighing contest. The monstrous fruit tipped the scale at a staggering 2,175 pounds. Good Lord. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Still to come, Kevin Feige makes a big move at Marvel.
And Abby Colvin will have one last look at your weather, so stay tuned.
Treating your asbestos disease means spending lots of time with doctors. Understand what they're saying with the free pocket-sized asbestos disease glossary that explains all the medical terms and the roles of the mesothelioma and lung cancer specialists involved in your care. Also, learn how to best pay for your significant medical expenses. Call Asbestos Lifeline today at 800-990-1650 or visit asbestoslifeline.com.
Here are some simple steps for a more restful sleep. Try to keep a regular sleep schedule so your body's internal clock is set to sleep through the night. Give yourself enough time to settle down and relax prior to bedtime so it's easier to fall asleep and stay asleep. Avoid caffeine and excess liquids in the evenings. Get plenty of exercise during the day so you feel tired at night.
When you're moving to a new home, 4 hints can help make the move smoother. First, Get at least 3 free written in-home estimates from moving companies. Next, read your paperwork carefully. Once you've signed a contract, you've agreed to what it says about your move. Remember, communication is key. Make sure the mover has your cell phone number and you have the driver's name and truck number. Finally, consider a certified pro mover who meets the American Moving and Storage Association's high standards. Learn more at moving.org. To help kids succeed as adults, it pays for parents to teach them about money early. People who learned about money as children were more likely to have a higher income as adults than those who didn't. But parents today don't go about it the way their parents did, a survey by Quicken, maker of best-selling personal finance software, revealed. Modern moms and dads are more likely to teach their kids about charitable giving, more likely to use credit cards to explain finance, and much more likely to discuss investing.
The man over Marvel's blockbuster is getting a bigger title. Kevin Feige is now not only the president of Marvel Studios, he is also the chief creative officer of Marvel. Feige already oversees the creative direction of Marvel and its superhero films. Under his new role, he will also be in charge of Marvel's publishing, television, and animation divisions. Marvel movies have broken several records under Feige's leadership and have brought in more than $22 billion at the worldwide global box office.
Jennifer Aniston decided to join Instagram Tuesday, and the Friends actress broke the social media site. The app crashed just after Aniston shared her first and so far only post. It was a picture of the entire Friends cast and read, "And now we're Instagram friends too. Hi, Instagram." Behind her, you can see fellow cast member Lisa Kudrow, Matthew Perry, Courtney Cox, David Schwimmer, and Matt LeBlanc. In just about 3 hours, the post snagged more than 2 million likes. People posted on Twitter that they were having trouble following Aniston. She still managed to rack up nearly 300,000 followers. Instagram says it's working on getting things fully up and running.
The Rock, Zoe Kravitz, and Travis Scott. Movie and music news now. Here's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
Let's secure our travel. Come on. Hello?
Not a good time.
My brother and I are looking for passage upriver.
Please go away.
I have a lot of money.
Get ready for a jungle cruise. The first trailer is out for the latest Disney movie based on a theme park ride. Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt lend a comedic African queen vibe to the film, which opens next July. Zoe Kravitz is getting catty. Multiple sources report the actress has been cast as Catwoman in The Batman. Kravitz is familiar with the characters. She voiced Catwoman in the Batman Lego movie. Robert Pattinson is set for the title role in The Batman, which is due in theaters June 25th, 2021.
I'm doing a show, I'll be back soon. That ain't what she wanted, yeah.
Travis Scott has his first debut #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Highest in the Room lived up to its title, topping the chart its first week out. No wonder fans are hungry for new music from Scott. It's his first single of the year. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
That's about all the time we have for today.
But before we go, let's check in with Abby Colvin one more time for the weather recap.
This is Abby Colvin. Let's take a look at the outdoor weather. Today it's partly cloudy with a high of 70 and a low of 48. Thursday it's partly cloudy as well with a 5% chance of rain with a high of 73 and a low of 51. And Friday it's partly cloudy with a 5% chance of rain with a high of 78 and a low of 61. This was Abby Colvin. Let's take it back to the news desk.
That's going to be all we have for you for this edition of the Bipsy News. I'm Jillian Rogers.
And I'm Shaquille Jefferson. From everyone here, thank you for tuning in, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.